Michael Angiletta. He is with Secure Idaho Elections.org. Is there? There he is. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the program. You've been watching the discussion and everything, and I wanted to make sure that we got everybody on the same page with wherever we're going, because you are a man of action and you have the tools and the things necessary in order to help secure our elections across the board. But when it comes to ranked choice voting in this particular issue, I want to throw it over to you, sir. The first question is, of course, is why are they even trying to do this?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. And, when you show the layperson and the regular voter what ranked choice voting is, without any preloaded messaging, you get this puzzled look. Why would anybody want to do this? Right. And so I like to set the table and just say, look, we have a system of one person, one vote here in Idaho that works well. And voters in Idaho trust it. Maybe we don't trust a lot of the other things going on across the rest of the country. Maybe even we don't even trust federal elections, but here in Idaho, we trust it. It works. Our counties administer them. Our county clerks administer them, and they're elected every 4 years. They report back to the people. The ballots are simple. The machines are simple, right? It just works. So the question becomes like, well, why would you want to invent this system? Why would you mess with something that works really well that's already high trust, right? Why would you make it more confusing for the voter? Why would you make it more complicated for the county clerk? Why would you make it more expensive for the counties? I don't know if we touched on this, but the Secretary of State of Idaho said this is going to cost up to $40 million. Who's going to pay for that? The county? I'm in Kootenai County. That would mean Kootenai County is going to have to spend $3.5 million to go revamp all of their systems. You know where that money is going to come from? Essential services. So who wants this? That begs the question. It sounds terrible, right? And on the surface, you can see there's the usual activists that claim to be moderate and independent. You've got Reclaim Idaho, for example, and some of the other guests talked about them. And when you go behind the surface, however, and you look at, well, where's the money coming from? Whose interests are really being served by introducing open primaries, jungle primaries, I should say, and ranked choice voting? And, on our website, secure-idaho-elections.org, we highlight some of those big organizations that are funding nationwide. It's a nationwide movement coming out of Washington, D.C., and billionaires. And you ask yourself, why are billionaires in Washington, D.C. dark money groups? They're hiding their flow of money. And that's ask us the question, is this representative of the people? No, it doesn't sound like it, right? And these dark money groups like Fair Vote, some of the usual names pop up. Well, who funds Fair Vote? Open Society Foundation, George Soros. It's the usual list. No conspiracy there, as they say, do your own research. So what are they trying to gain? And I think Brian mentioned it, Dorothy mentioned it, and a few others did. On the local state level, it's the establishment. And on the national level, in some respects, it's also the establishment. It's the money interests. And they want to exert their own influence on our state politics. And that means essentially usurping the grassroots. It means usurping the Republican Party. And, coming back to Secure Idaho Elections, and this is the segue, we're totally grassroots. Our opposition, look where their money is coming from. It's anything but. One of the co-founders of Secure Idaho Elections, retired Boeing exec. I'm a business coach and entrepreneur. We've got a phlebotomist who's running our outreach. We're like grassroots through and through. None of us is getting paid one dime for what we're doing. And we're here for one reason, and it's our namesake, Secure Idaho Elections. And that means right now, currently, educating voters on what ranked choice voting and jungle primaries mean for them. And we believe if we simply get the fundamental truth out there, that is going to be enough to let a regular voter say, this isn't for me. We've got a great system today. We don't need this system. We can go into all the specifics, right? 140,000 thrown out ballots in New York. By the way, in that election, they also accidentally inserted 135,000 test ballots. I mean, that just shows you what a mess this is. So
right.
So that's why we're here.
So Michael, great, and we have the website up here. So you say, helping educate, helping get the word out. Is this a door-to-door campaign? Are you talking to people outside grocery stores? Are you sharing stuff on social media? All of the above, here or there, other things I haven't even thought of yet. What are the main tactics? How can people get involved to help support this effort?
You bet. Thanks for asking. So right now we're focused on two things. And one is building up our truth storytelling through digital. So we just launched our website last week, and we're sharing case studies. We're sharing how this impacts Idaho, but more importantly, to your point, we want to enable people to take action. And so we're building our outreach team and our speaker network as we, no pun intended, speak. But in every county, we're going to have a panel of speakers that are going to go out and hit the road and talk to different groups. It might be a Republican Central Committee. In Blaine County, it might be the Democratic Central Committee, church groups, parental rights organizations. We're literally right now hitting the ground and starting to liaison with those groups so that we'll have an opportunity to educate all of the members of that particular affinity group.
That's great.
And that's it. Education all day long.
Yeah, no, that's great. Brian, when you hear this, I mean, does it sound promising to you?
Oh, for sure. The entire way they got this on the ballot in the first place was by obfuscating the truth, by lying to voters and the people who signed it, by just saying it's about making elections more equitable, opening it up, open primaries, but getting the truth out, the truth of exactly what it is and what it's going to do. I think that's important. And it's, y'all mentioned the Secretary of State coming out and saying it could cost up to $40 million. I saw Luke Mayville of Reclaim Idaho saying, "Oh no, that's an exaggeration. They'll be able to handle it with their existing machines." But remember, this is the same Reclaim Idaho that said that Medicaid expansion was going to be cheap and affordable, and that's just ballooned out of control too. So they like to just pass things and then expect the taxpayer to pick up the tab later. So that's another thing that I think people are going to ask questions about. How much is this really going to cost?
Yeah, I mean, it's astronomical, and I would never, ever, ever, I would never, ever believe a left person, left wing, a Democrat tell me that something is not going to cost that much. It just is in it. I'm too old. I'm too old to fall for that anymore. It is going to cost an arm and a leg and your groin and your chest and your hip. I mean, it's going to cost your entire life. Okay, so secureidahoelections.org. Michael, where can people follow, or which social media sites are you guys on?
So our website, we're on Twitter, Secure Idaho Elections. You can find us there, and then also on Facebook. That's where most of the action's happening right now. And if you want to get engaged with our group statewide, right on our website, we have a Take Action there, and you can volunteer. You can ask for a speaker, or you can donate, because we're grassroots. We don't have any money.
That's right. Very good. Excellent. Okay, folks, we have a special link that we want to all of our viewers. If you want to come on, you have a comment, you want to share anything, we don't do this often. Maybe we've only done it once before, but speak.idahosignal.com. If you go there now, you'll come into our lobby, in the virtual lobby, and we'll take a shot. We'll throw you up on screen here if you have a comment or a question or anything. I know it's very dangerous to open up the lines when we're on the air like this live, because I don't have a dump button. That being said, Michael, any last words? Anything I forgot to ask you about, or you wanted to mention to make sure we get out there, because this is an important issue. I want people to get a full grasp of what could happen should this. Maybe that's a good question. What could happen if this passes and we have to live under this?
Well, that's when we look at the other states, right? This isn't hypothesis. This isn't fiction. We can look to New York, to Maine, to Alaska, to California, and whether or not it's up to, and there have been studies in Maine, I think it was up to 29% of votes being trashed. And by the way, I want to add one thing. Sorry to take up time, but somebody had mentioned that, part of this reason is to get rid of principled candidates, right? Candidates are going to take a strong stand that might disrupt the establishment narrative, right? Well, part of this is when you look at ranked choice voting, you are required, it's an ultimatum, you have to vote for everybody on that ballot, even the ones you find repugnant, the ones that don't represent your values, your beliefs. If you don't vote for those politicians, your ballot runs the risk of being trashed. And I think that's perfectly symbolic of the entire movement here behind RCV. It doesn't allow you to be principled. It doesn't allow you to live your values. And I would leave most Idahoans with that simple fact. And it doesn't matter if you're Republican, conservative, or liberal, or independent. That is something anathema to being American and Idahoan.
Well put, Michael. I thank you for joining us. And we will definitely keep tabs on this. We'll spread your information around and make sure that people get involved. So thanks for joining us, Michael.
Thank you.